Joe and Jimmy. I'm off the bat. I'm just going to apologize. Neither of us has got ideal audio conditions this week. My microphone is faulty, so it sounds like I'm on a phone call, and Joe's microphone, it
It's
feels
broken.
like it's probably packed in.
It's
So
broken.
yeah, Joe is on the webcam audio, so it's not terrible audio, but it's not the audio we would like to be using right now. So hopefully that'll be fixed within the next week for both of us, and we'll be back to silky smooth, deep voices like rich mahogany.
My room's actually full of helium, so that'll never be the case.
Oh my
But
god, that would be hilarious.
um, I
But
think
yes, anyway, welcome to the latest episode of Indie Bants. So we're going to be looking at a bunch of games and just chatting a bunch of whatever over the next half an hour ish. What have you been up to, Joe?
Good question. I'm totally thrown by this whole. Well, I've been trying to fix a mic for the last hour, but you know that
Yeah,
you were there. That was flipping atrocious.
I've been
The
an observer of that.
Yeah, I mean it's a whole cable thing. That's been doing me dialing. Last weekend. Oh no, last week got some fucking shelves. It's
Oh,
like now
nice.
I've
Look at
got some
that.
stuff going on in the background of my office for once.
There we go.
It replaced basically all that was just in a box out off shot. Great for audio listeners. That like, I mean, they know what shelves are. Just picture it in your head. But
Have you changed the orientation of where your desk is as well?
no. It was always. I've
I
always
thought
been
that.
here. It's it just looks different because I've got some shelf feng shui on the
I thought you
go.
had like the hat hooks behind that shelf then.
They're actually slightly above it.
Ah, okay.
You can no longer see it. Yeah, just took the hat. I was like, really, it's a waste of space just to hang up 4 hats. So I was just like, how about I get all my shit out of boxes and put them on some shelves. So,
There you go. Get
but
that.
it was like the lowest priority of things to get for the house. So,
Yeah.
but it's cool that people will think I can fucking play guitar and stuff like that. It's got a little guitar there. People are like, maybe he's dead good. He's not. He's absolutely
It's just
shite.
something. It's just something he brings up at parties.
It's just a pride.
He
Just
just has it there, so it's like people go, "Oh, do you play the guitar?" And he's like,
and like,
"Yes."
I thought you'd never had that. No, I'm not one of them. Dom band it is though. Bloody hell.
Don't burn it.
Do you
Yeah.
remember? Do you remember parties at his gaff when he'd have all his muso friends over, and then we'd just have to stop enjoying ourselves.
Yeah. It would get to a certain point in the evening when they'd all had enough alcohol and
And
felt
they'd all
confident
dash
enough to
off.
all go get their instruments out. At which point it was party over for the rest of us, as we had to listen to them
Well, it was all right
jam.
when they'd nash off to another room, but then when it was just like a handful of us just sat in an empty room going, "Where's this party
Just
gone? Oh, they're all in the
what?
other room having a
Yeah.
jam. Who brings a fucking saxophone to a party anyway?"
At least it was in the other room. If they brought the jam into
Yeah.
the main room, it would have been like, okay, enough of that. Put the other music on, please.
I'm trying. Question: how do we watch our stream? I'm having a daft.
Joe's all over the place today.
I know. I'm just trying to look if. Yeah, I'm on it. Sorry, I
He's got it.
just just want
You
to.
went to the link.
I went to the. Yeah, I should have went to the link. Actually, I
The
could have.
link, yeah, the provided link, and then you would have been like sorted.
Yeah,
We
no.
have a few indie games to be getting through today, though.
I know
We
we
picked
actually
quite a
might talk
few.
indie games today, but
We might
also
do.
look at me guitar.
um,
Honestly, I cannot for the life of me find. It's probably on YouTube.
it is on YouTube.
Yeah. I've got us up now. Let's do it. I mean, yeah, got it. Yeah, audio's atrocious. Just live with it. We'll give you some maybe some free indie games part way through to keep you happy. Yes.
Just
So if
dangling
you
that carrot.
yeah, if you're in the chat, this means you have to pay attention because we might just like
Yeah,
throw some Steam keys into the chat if you're following along at home.
that's it.
So should we jump into the indie games since
Let's do it. What do you
I
want to start
was
with?
I want to start with Art of Rally. An oldie
Art
but a
of
goodie.
Rally. Let's have a look
Yeah,
here. Bear with me.
yeah.
There's a technical element to this.
Jimmy's the producer as well.
I
So
am, and I have to actually find it amongst the entire list of all of the stuff that we have. So
It's
Boom. How's
pretty.
this looking?
It's
There
pretty
we
sweet.
go.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's
Look at that.
it's
Pat
cool as
myself on the
hell.
back.
I watched an excellent YouTube video a few days ago on which will be in the newsletter. Watched this excellent video. It wasn't actually on Art of Rally, but it in passing it mentioned it. So I was like, I need to go back to that because I played like a couple of levels of it just to get a vibe for it, and it's really cool. If you join along on the stream, you'll see that it's like visually it's fantastic. It's really like minimalist, but it's
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, like aesthetic over fidelity. Like it's not high res, but with like
It's
nothing's
almost like
nothing's
cell,
wasted.
kind of
Like
like cell shaded almost.
it's like I think it's called like low poly. I don't know what
Low
else
poly.
but it's just simple and it gets the job done, but it also handles really well. Like I've been playing it on controller, and it's it doesn't handle how you think it would, because it looks really arcadey, but it's got this kind of like level of like high quality simulation that'll get you, that people who like driving games or racing games will enjoy. But it's also not taking itself too seriously. So it's that the whole thing is about like having this like sort of zen experience as you drive these little rally cars about, and it's kind of just like a love letter to rally. Like the career mode is kind of cool. You go through like the different eras of rally. So the first levels are in like the late 60s, and you're driving these
Oh,
like
nice.
knockoff versions of like classic rally cars. And as you progress through the actual eras of rally. So it's certainly anyone who likes driving games, and even if you like, because I've got the race wheel, and I like me proper driving games as well. But this is something that I think will still scratch an itch for people who really who want to like a change away from something that's bit, if you've got your like sim racing and that, if it's too serious, you can go to this. But I think it also sits in a nice middle ground for people who aren't into driving games. It's like a way to get like
Yeah, yeah.
it's the gateway drug. I think if you have a blast of this and you start enjoying it and you like the kind of like sim feel to the way the cars handle, and you're like, I want to explore this further, you could easily get very hooked on like proper sim games,
This
sim
actually,
racing games.
the style of this reminds me of very popular sort of shooter that came out a couple of years ago now, and really popular. They're called BattleBit. Um,
I don't remember that.
I see if I can get it up. It's basically Battlefield like mechanics, but on like what do you call it, low poly or something.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
don't know the exact term for it, but
and it was really like I played a lot of it, and it was really good fun. And yeah, you could like it's one of those ones where it's a shooter for people who like shooters but don't like how serious some of the online shooters can get. So let me see if I can share.
this is starting to ring a bell actually. What do you say? It's called BattleBit.
Yeah, this.
Right. Yes, I do remember this actually. I never played it, but
It's really like really good fun and
it's
like
like
very
stops toxic people sucking the fun out of genres. You like
yeah,
essentially.
because like because the look of it is kind of like more fun than the other ones. It's almost like people have a more fun attitude going into it, and the actual mechanics, the shooting mechanics, the weapons, everything is really good. It's as good as any shooter I've ever played, but it just is. It's more fun. You pet like lots of like I've had a lot of funny moments with people on that where like you can revive people who've been knocked down, and
Down.
everybody gets
Yeah.
like really into like pretend, like, oh my god, save me, tell my wife I love, like, Jimmy,
Yeah, they're
no.
all they're all
Like
playing they're all playing along.
yeah, like and you get a lot of that in the game, and it is really good fun. So yeah, that rally thing, just the style of it just reminds me of this, and that idea of you know, something being very good at what it does, but maybe not looking as realistic as some of the more well-known titles in that game.
Yeah,
Sorry, in that.
aesthetic over fidelity. It's just like
Yeah,
make it good to look at, but it doesn't have to necessarily replicate the real world. And I
yeah,
think that kind of degree of separation between the two potentially makes it, like you said, like nurtures a better community, or people who's like, how can you take this that seriously? Like
exactly. Yeah,
it
I mean,
makes it also.
you definitely still got people on BattleBit like
Oh yeah, who
being
take
toxic.
it? There's
Of course
always
you are.
people who'll ruin everything,
Yeah, but the vast majority of people were just having a laugh on it, and it was like it was really good fun. Yeah, I recommended that to like almost everybody. I think just because I thought it's plus you could get like 64 versus 64
yeah, it was
maps and
massive,
stuff, and
right?
like
It was.
loads of people in. It's really good fun. Yeah, really
Nice.
good.
Oh, what am I adding
Um,
about Art of Rally before we move on?
yeah, yeah.
They have the crowds like lining the road, and they
I
like
saw that on that
and
trailer. They could
they
disperse.
pass
Yeah,
when you're like you can't run them over, which is good because that would really put a down on it. But they kind of just like automatically part ways, like the crowds used to in Old Rally, which is not advised. To be fair,
no.
that's definitely something where I'm like, I can't believe people did that. I mean, I saw an old video of like Colin McRae being like, "This is stupid. They need to get people away from the edge of the track." Because there was loads of people just like leaning in. He's like, I can't see anything because of this crowd. So
Mm,
he was just like gunning it like 70 miles an hour down a fucking dirt road with these crowds parting way. And obviously everyone else knows when to move away from the car, but he can't like preempt something coming up because he's just blinded by a crowd. So yeah, don't do that. But it's cool that they put it
no.
in the game because it's kind of fun as you drive past little sections of town and it gets
Yeah,
on.
adds a little bit more to it than it.
Yeah, it's
Little
nice.
details.
So
Uh,
do
so
you want
after
to
I've finished,
let
yeah.
us know what you've been having a blast
So
of?
I finished, as you know, Joe, 'cause I sent it as soon as it happened. I did manage to complete the grand campaign for Close Combat
Ah,
2.4, which was it's a bit of a weird moment because it's been 28 years in the making completing that game. And it also happened when the grand campaign was saying that it was only about 52% complete. So
hmm.
I think I must have reached some condition that wasn't written about, like, if you manage to do X by day Y, like you don't have to go to the full 100%, which was kind of cool. So I completed that, and since then I've been back to which I mean I thought it was an indie game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've gone with it being an indie game because I think Owlcat Studios
You
are
said
an
they
indie
spun out.
studio.
We no, we spoke. They went indie. They kind of like broke away from their like overlord. We had to mention
Yeah.
this. So they were non-indie, and they've kind of tried to move in a more indie route. Obviously, on the large spectrum of indie, they're probably on the further end.
Yes.
They're definitely it's definitely not a solo dev effort, but it's they are trying to do something by break. You said they like broke away and like self-funded or something like that. I can't remember the
I
exact
think
details.
they
They spun
were
out away
in
from like the
yeah.
conglomerate they were a part of or something like that.
That's it. Yeah,
Someone
they
will have
went
to weigh in with that.
independent. I think they still have like partnerships and obviously publisher as well. But like they went independent on after a successful first game that they made, and
Yeah.
they come out with a Rogue Trader here, which is Warhammer 40,000 based. You are a rogue trader, so you are the captain of a void ship, and your job is to kind of go beyond the borders of the Imperium to seek out new lands and civilizations and try and bring them into the fold of the Imperium and stuff. And as you go along, you obviously have various enemies to fight, and you build up this eclectic band of followers who join you, and it's the combat. It's got a lot of RPG elements. So all of your crew are like. They can be upgraded and get new equipment and stuff like that. You can upgrade the ship. You can do lots of things like that. But the combat is very much in the style of XCOM.
Oh,
So
I love
when the combat
XCOM.
starts, yeah, it's like um, turn-based strategy with small squads rather than like large armies or anything like that. And everyone has different abilities, and the weapons that they get can change their abilities, and they're all good at different things. And I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a really nice game. The art style of it is again like not super realism, but
Yeah.
it's got a slightly sort of cartoony-ish look, but I do quite like that. But the actual feel of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, I think they've done very well with that. I think they've kind of nailed it, even though the graphics are not like full realism as we've discussed about those other games.
I mean, the game's based on like plastic figurines in a batshit crazy universe. I feel like I find it's like it's cool, like really delving into that 40k universe, but also there has to be some tongue in cheek sometimes with it because of how
There
silly it
is.
is. Because there is
It's
which
based
is
on
what
that,
you
yeah.
want. I was watching a great video. You know the lad Ian who does the YouTube videos on 40k. He was talking about something really like early doors 40k like lore building, and
Oh yeah.
one of the first inquisitors had a stupid ass name like something Cluso, like Einstein
Yes.
Cluso,
Oh,
like
there was a lot of that in the early Warhammer 40,000. There's a lot of like satire and ripping off. Isn't the Dark Angels Primarch like based on?
there's all sorts of nonsense. So that
Yeah, the English poet Lionel Johnson.
yeah,
He's based
that,
on that.
amazing. There's a game well, what sounds very similar to this that I wanted to mention, and I played it. I played it a good few years ago, and it it has this kind of like real time, like squad based management, but then it goes turn based when you enter combat. So you move them around, and you play these like weird mutants, and one of them's like a pig man, and I am, for the life of me, unable to remember its name. It had a number in the name as well. It's what were it, like I wanted to say it was called like Resistance 2078, which sounds like I made that up, which I probably did. But it was along those lines. So if anyone in the chat can remember what that game was, it sounds like similar kind of gameplay.
Mm. Is there any
Uh,
other? Do we want to? Do we want to do a couple? Well, you've got a couple more games you've been playing,
well, I
and then
wanted
we've
to.
got a few that we want to sort of highlight as well as like
Yeah, I
coming
want
out
to. I want to
soon.
talk
Or
about Surviving Mars because I know this is a game that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you you played a lot, and I did a lot about 4 years ago, I think, when during
Yes.
lockdown I was really into it, and I went. This is how I ended up on Auto Rally, by the way. But I booted up Surviving Mars, and then I was like, I can't remember how to play this, and I cannot be fucked learning again. Like it was just not, and that's not a criticism of the game. It's just like when you go back to a game, you're like, oh, like RPGs are the worst for it. When you load up an old save, you're like, I don't remember what I was supposed to be doing here. What quest was on? Where was I going? Especially if it's like
Yes.
open world, like boot up an old Skyrim save, and you're like, oh, this is no good. I've lost my flow. I know you can go off and do anything, but you're like, what character was I building? It was like that. I opened it up and I like started clicking on stuff, and I'm like, oh, I cannot remember. And I was on it for about like honestly 5 minutes. I went, no, not today. And I was getting looped back into it because I downloaded Civ and nearly got addicted to that again. I've done 2 campaigns and uninstalled it because that's that game's too dangerous. I think it should be
You
banned.
can lose hours on Civ. Like it just, the time just disappears when you're playing that game. I found that the same with this one though. I mean, I get what you mean about going back in and like, oh, I don't think I'd be bothered to learn it again. But I really enjoyed playing Surviving Mars. I thought it was really nice
Just
game.
not this week. Not this week. I would
Not
happily
this
go
week.
back and learn it, but I was literally going to jump on something so that I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a blast or something because I want to talk about it on the pod or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's a good game. I want to return to that. And I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Not right now. I'm not jumping in this for half an hour to get a vibe. I'm like, it's going to take me about that time to remember how it works.
That's
But
it.
it's
Yeah,
it's,
that
it's
these
certainly
yeah
worth it. Like I
these
remember,
games
it's
are
an
like
excellent game.
commitments, aren't they? You can't like some games like say BattleBit I was just mentioned before. You could jump into that, play like 20 minutes, and then leave, and like you as soon as you're in, you're just playing the game. But I think games like Surviving Mars and Civ and yeah, games like that, you kind of have to have a bit more time put aside to play them, because especially if you're just getting started, you can't like just drop in for 20 minutes at the start. It takes you 20 minutes just to load the game up properly. So yeah, I can totally understand that. It's a more of a slow burning enjoyment in these ones, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's
It was really good though. I do remember. I loved the like just visually. It was just really nice to play. Sometimes I'd just be sitting there just staring at like what's going on rather than actually managing anything, and just kind of like, ah, this looks nice. This is a nice little environment that I've created here on Mars.
yeah, and then a horrible like storm comes along and ruins it all. You're like, oh great, a sandstorm and everybody's dead. We ran out of food. I didn't think of that.
I find that it's one of the things that like grates me sometimes about these games as well. Like, and this is nothing to do with the game. It's just my hang-ups. Is when you build something early on, and then as you get more of advanced and you can do more stuff, and your like settlement no longer looks uniform and planned out, and
Oh,
it's
I
like a bit
hate that.
higgledy piggledy. It's like, oh
Oh.
my god, I'm gonna have to destroy half of this because I need it to look more symmetrical or something. I
These
can't
people
have
don't conform and therefore deserve to die.
that
They're gonna
area
have
over
to
there.
move into a shitter biome. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Your biome didn't serve a grid system I was trying to build in this rocky
No.
thing. But I like
You're
when
all
it's
going to be
like,
without power for for like 6 months because I need to relocate the power farm to a more pleasing part of Mars.
could you potentially just like invest in some jumpers for a bit because
Yeah. No
this is
heat for
gonna be
the
bad.
next.
But I love it
Yeah.
when like in like city skylines and the like city builders and colony sims or whatever they are. When like you end up with something that's really organic because of the environment, but
Yeah.
when it goes all wrong because you weren't able to like plan the big picture, or you've got to go back and start fine tuning things, you're like that. It's that horrible. It's like an itch, and not like a good itch that you get to scratch. It's an itch that you're unable to scratch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like needing to scratch your nose when you're like cooking chicken or whatever, and you're like, I don't want to get food poisoning right here. You're just like, oh, this is going to annoy me for a good 10 minutes whilst I'm like prepping this, and you try and like
Yeah.
scratch with your elbow. That's how it feels when you get it all wrong.
Yes, it does. Yeah. It's I mean, again, some people just might not get that frustration at all. They just don't care. But for me, it's like once I'm about a good few hours into surviving Mars, I'm like, oh no, now everything's gonna look weird. That
Mm.
area that I excavated for this whole like biome area isn't big enough anymore, and like I'm gonna have to put something not in exactly the place I would want to put it in. Oh, it's just that's a battle. It's an internal battle at that point.
No, no good. Uh, should we chat about a couple of community games as well as some of the stuff we've
What
seen
can I
sent to us?
just one
Yes.
thing before community games? Just one thing before that. Right, is it Zaum or is it Zaum?
No idea. I've always just said Zaun, but
Zaum.
I say things how I like that game Gnog. It's
Right. Okay. Well, Zaum, the guys who made Disco Elysium, which is one of my favorite games of all time, have announced a new game, Project C4. Let's bang up the. Better not stop. Oh, it's going to stop. I'm going to put the sound off there because otherwise I'm going to
that's
deafen
all right.
myself.
And everyone.
Um, yeah. So yes, a little teaser here. Oh, I can't reach the thing now. Oh, I can't watch it full screen. Never mind. You can see it. Um, so yeah, it's got that weird art style that the previous game had, and I'm very very intrigued to play it. Not least because the last one was so different. I thought like what a unique game Disco Elysium was, and
Yeah.
uh, this is I've to be honest, watch this. I've got absolutely no idea what it could be about, and that intrigues me more
But
than
it
probably
looks
knowing what it
class.
would be.
You're just like,
Yes,
this is going to be mint, but also, what?
exactly, exactly. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I obviously just want to give a quick shout to that before we played because I'm not sure I've been as hyped for a game as I've been for that in an indie game for quite some time. So yeah, I'm very very intrigued to see what that's gonna be like because oh man, Disco Elysium was something else.
Yeah, yeah, it was excellent game. It's a shame about all the atrociousness that happened after it.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm not clued up enough to sort of go into that. It sounds like there's been a lot of disgruntled stuff behind the scenes and lawsuits and things. It sounds like it's all been Has it all been resolved? I don't know, but I know a couple of the writers and artists left to do a different project, and but I don't know. So I don't know. I just want to
But
see what that game is.
yeah, but it's good to see something coming out of that studio as well, given
Yeah,
that.
oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Given
Right. What else do
the
you want
bad time
to? I
that
know.
they've been having. Yeah, I wanted to specifically talk about a couple of community games. Just highlight some of the stuff we get sent. Obviously, if you follow us on Twitter/X, we have the tweet threads go up a few times a week. We got obviously trailer Tuesday, wishlist Wednesday, screenshot Saturday. Participate in those. Obviously, send us your games. I mean, the best way to get your money's worth out of that is to go through the thread itself. If you like indie games, it's just a great channel to discover indies that you mightn't have heard of. Like obviously, if you're making an indie game, feel free to share it, but it works out best for everyone if you can also drop your game and then have a look at what's going on, or even come back at the end of the day once those threads are filled to the brim with indie games. Because I mean, really, everyone should retweet every single game. Imagine that if everyone who participated in those retweeted the thread and every game in it, everyone would have like 150 retweets off the bat for their game across
It would
mass
be great
launch.
if everyone did do that. Obviously, because the
That's the way it should
alternative,
be. But
it should be. Because if you think about the other way, if it's just everybody posting their game and paying no attention to any of the games, then no one's getting a view of anyone's game, and it's kind of doesn't serve its purpose. So you may as
no.
well, if you're going to be a part of it, like take part in it, go through the list, find other games that you like the look of, retweet them, share them, and then you start building that reciprocity between everybody who's a part of it, and everybody starts sharing everybody's, and then we're all in it together rather than it's all just being a free for all.
Absolutely. I mean, we do get that. You get people who start. You see conversations branching off about games.
Yeah, yeah.
Other devs going, "Oh, this looks great. I've wishlisted. Or when's it coming out and stuff like that." That's the kind of thing we want to see. So if you do participate, obviously, it's there for you to share your game, but also it's for. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, it's because I'm going to tell you why. It's because we've got the wrong date on our bloody stream. It's going to do me diving. There we go. Today is March 28th.
It
There we
is.
go. I'm happy now. I'm happy now. No, I'm not. I'm have to change them all, James. It's doing me dialing.
I don't know which one was wrong.
Both of them, all of them. They're all down as March 13th. It's the 28th, Jim.
Oh, well, why doesn't it just update that like normal? Like I would assume that would just be automatic.
No, that's the title. You've uh, you've got to
On
put the
Riverside.
yeah. That's the name of the stream. Anyway,
Oh, whoopsie
uh,
daisy.
yeah. So I'll change that so that the videos are all right. But yeah, so there's a couple of the games that we've seen in the threads. One is Naughty Gnomes or Gnaughty Gnomes, however you want to.
Gnaughty gnomes.
Yeah, and this is from the studio that made bread. I was going to say bread and Fred. It looks a great laugh. I wanted to give these guys a shout out because it looks like something we could definitely stream because we are looking to return to streaming some indie games as well as just talking about them on the podcast
This
and
has got a
stream.
very overcooked feel to it.
Yeah, big overcooked vibes, and
Does look like fun though.
yeah, and the previous one, Bread and Fred, is like a 2D platformer that you have to like cooperatively play together. So
Okay.
I think that could be definitely something stream worthy for both of us to be playing at the same time, where you've got like hang on to one another and like swing off ledges, like whilst one person's like pinned to the geometry, the other person's hanging from a rope, and you're trying to like swing off the rope and use the momentum. A bit like the ninja rope and Worms is the kind of vibe
Oh
Bread and
yeah,
Fred
yeah.
gave me. Naughty Gnomes, however, just seems like pure chaos. I don't even
Oops.
know how you'd accurately describe it. It's just run around Overcooked style and just hoist shit off each other and have a laugh. That seems to be the vibes they're going for, but with like seemingly like RPG elements, or
Right. Okay.
so there's like levels of like character development. It feels like it's got this kind of like Smash Brothers vibe as well, like like a quick little brawl kind of thing, and then go again. Essentially, it's something that's
I can actually see what's going on in this game. That's my problem with Smash Brothers. I've never got a clue what the hell is going on. There's just so much going on the screen. Like, did I do that? Did someone else do that? Did I get hit? Did I hit them? Never a clue what's going on.
Oh no, that's part of it. You start like every game. I think you start to learn to parse
Oh
it.
yeah, I only ever play it when I'm at like someone's house who has it or
Yeah,
whatever, and I'm just like, well, I have no idea what's going on. I just button mash that game. I've got no clue. But this one looks like it'll be good fun. It's got like that room battle
yeah. We saw them in
feel to it.
Guadalupe
Yeah,
last year. Yeah, I was just
yeah.
keeping an eye out on them. Saw them on Twitter X, whatever, a couple of days ago. It's looking good. It's looking good. Have a look at that for Room Battle, which is I don't think it's out yet. Let me check. No, it can't be far off though.
Let's have a look here.
It's release date 2025. This is it was. How would you? Well, again, similar vein to
This to me feels like
Overcooked,
do you
like
remember Mario
Party
Kart? And it
Kart,
had no Mario Kart had that
the battle mode.
and the battle mode. It's the battle mode from Mario Kart, but with spiky Roombas.
Yeah, but it's like it seems like it sits in this halfway point between like Robot Wars. If you remember the
Yeah,
old Robot Wars games based off the series, I think they're called BattleBots in the US. The series in the US is called BattleBots, but it's our UK version of that had a few games where you could it was all top down and you could build your robot and then fight them. This is more like the dash mechanic on Overcooked. I
yes, it
guess
is. Yeah.
it's like that really fun, but instead of like it being annoying because you've knocked people out of the way, which happens in Overcooked if you dash and get in the way of folk, you can use the dash to dash into people. But from I remember playing it at Guadalupe in Malaga last year, they like ping off each other if it's face on. So you've got to
Yeah.
I don't even flank them, I guess, to overly complicate room battle with like military strategy. You've got to get them into choke points and flank them and.
But the good thing about that, because when often when you're playing that game, you get to the point where you both head on with each other, and there's just a lot of like ping, ping, ping.
Yeah, and
But the
it's who
good thing
blinks
about it,
first.
well, it's not just that as well. The environment can pop the balloon as well, so there might be a
Yes,
cactus
there's
plant or
cacti
something.
behind you, and that.
So you
Yeah,
can't just keep doing that. Someone at some point is going to have to like, as you said, blink first and like try and move out the way, because otherwise they might just get shoved back into the environment and get their balloon popped anyway. So I did find that a lot of fun when we played that one. Actually, I thought
it's great.
that was
Both
really good fun.
both
So both of
both
them look
that
like good
Naughty
laugh. Yeah.
Gnomes and Room Battle. If you're into that kind of thing, if you've and both of those because they're competitive. Like so you know, they're competitive in the way that it won't ruin an evening unless you have horrible friends. Obviously, if you have the kind of people that are gonna throw a hissy fit over like a game of Room Battle or Naughty Gnomes, it's like I don't think you
Yeah.
should invite them around your house anymore.
No, you might need new friends.
Yeah. And should we finish up on this last one, Pompeii? Since I came across this one was definitely like this is a Jimmy recommendation if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it looks
So
interesting.
it's like
Where are we?
it's not one of these. It's not the kind of genre that you see too much of in the kind of indie space because it's
No.
kind of tough to do. To be fair, like best to look to the devs on it. It feels like having read ancient history at university, Jimmy. This feels like the kind of game where well, I'm not going to say what happens to you when you see these kind of games, but you enjoy them. I think
I
would be the
do. I just
fairest way.
I enjoy. I mean, city builders are fun anyway.
Yeah.
But when you add an aesthetic and a theme into it that I like anyway, ancient Rome, then obviously I'm going to be more interested in it than probably a regular city builder. So obviously set a few years after the Vesuvius. Is it Vesuvius explosion? Was it Vesuvius, the one that covered Pompeii in liquid
Yeah,
hot magma?
Vesuvius is in Naples, right? Oh, near Naples, Napoli.
Yeah.
Um,
So yes, then you go back and your job is to rebuild um, Pompeii.
I
I'm not too
wonder.
sure, kind of like of everything that goes on in that game, but I mean aesthetically it looks cool, and I imagine it'll be. I think, as you said, Joe, the reason like often you don't see this kind of thing in indies is because there's probably
A
like
lot of
city building.
systems.
There's a lot of systems and a lot of depth required to make these things kind of like work really well. So it'll be interesting to see if it does. But I mean, I'm intrigued from this what the point of the game is, and the setting of the game definitely draws me in. I really hope it's as good as most other city builders, because you do need that
It
level
has
of
to be
like
more
depth
than
on you.
window dressing though, doesn't it? It's the
It
thing is
does.
like
That's
a
the
theme
problem,
can
isn't it?
only go so far. You can't just like have the same because the systems can't be exactly the same as a modern city builder. Really, if you want any
No.
value to it, the systems have to they have to work in the same way that like ancient Rome would. You know, you don't. It's not the
Yeah.
same as like people don't have the same requirements and desires. You can't just be like, oh well, this is effectively your power plant and this is effectively whatever. It's like the
Just a
systems that
reskinned. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It can't just be like an ancient Rome reskin of a city builder, like you would if you were building like a Roman themed section of your theme park in Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's like, yeah, it's still a roller coaster. It just looks like ancient Rome, and the cars look like chariots. It can't be like that. You can't have like, you know, it would need more than that for it to be a viable alternative to players over like a modern style city builder. Or even,
Yeah,
well,
for
that's the
sure.
thing. Like the
Yeah.
mechanics of going back to surviving Mars, that the mechanics of that are different. Like you don't build in the same way in that.
No.
In that you have little drones that have like a base that has a range that you have to move to the area you want to build, and then you have to set the drones out to build the things you want, which works more like an ant colony than a classic city builder where you
And
don't actually think about the mechanics of constructing things. You just plop
yeah,
everything down. That's how it Sim
there's
City
this
and City Skylines work.
yeah, and there's so much depth in those games, isn't there? Like the amount of like detail and depth in a city builder is like, as I said, I hope it has got that, because it would be really interesting to play a city builder set in that time, and that have that theme and setting and stuff, but have the depth of what you've come to expect, like from the likes of a surviving Mars. So yeah, be intrigued to check that one out and see how it stacks up.
Yeah. Well, I think we should pretty much wrap up there. We've done our cheeky half hour. Thank you for those of you who joined us. We've got to apologise for the late start as well, as we said at the top of the
Yeah,
pod.
technical
With
issues.
technical issues. If you're listening on audio, you can hear that already. Next time out, we are probably looking at what the 11th of April will it be? 11th and 25th, or probably I'm just looking at
11th
my
and
calendar.
25th of April. Yeah,
I
so
think
every couple of weeks.
yeah, every couple of weeks on Friday, same time. Usually attempting to get on for 12 noon in the UK, 1 o'clock Central European time. If you're joining us from the
Other way around, I
US,
think.
you're going to have to work that out yourself. You guys have too many time zones. We can barely work out between us, between European and
I'm just
UK
thinking, is that
time.
it was 1 p.m. UK time. It must be 2 p.m. for you.
Yeah, this time, but we were an hour late. So usually we do
No,
12.
I thought it was 1 p.m. GMT.
Now I'm confused. No, I think we said we started an hour late.
Did we?
And
I could have
yeah.
sworn it was 1 p.m. GMT.
Oh, now you've got me confused. That's why we don't do this thing. Oh, it was 1 p.m. GMT. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were bang.
wow.
We're only 2 minutes late.
Were we? I can't believe.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe that. I felt we were an hour late. I don't know what I was thinking about then. Well, at least Yeah, just keep an eye out because I don't know what time we're
we'll tell
starting.
you. We'll tell you what time it is, but it's
I was
probably
sat
going
there
to be
like, this
around
is
1 p.m.
outrageous how late we are. I was furious. So it's
I
like,
was like,
oh,
oh, he's really bothered about being 2 minutes late. Yeah.
I mean, I am bothered about being 2 minutes late, but I didn't think we were an hour and 2 minutes late. So yeah, so yes, 1 and 2 then is the time we normally do it. I think it's when we jump on the when we try and jump on a call like an hour earlier. It's like
Yeah,
a few
which
hours
we needed
earlier.
to today with all of the technical issues, but
Yeah, yeah, we did. So yeah, so join us. We'll post on the socials and that when they're going ahead and when we've scheduled them. But usually, all things considered, everything goes fine. No, mics exploding or whatever. 11th and 25th of April should be our next two at 1 o'clock UK time, 2 o'clock European time.
yep.
Other time zones are available. If you want to stay up to date with what we do as well, we have our emailer. There's links to that on the website and also in our pinned tweet on X. You can sign up for that, and the idea is we just send you just cool stuff that's going on in the world of indies, videos we think you'd like, articles we reckon you should read, highlights some of the games we talk about from the community, and also games that we just discover by keeping our ear close to the ground in
Bit of
the
news,
community.
bit of news,
Yeah.
and then obviously we'll share we share the podcast episodes and things as well in case you're not able to tune in live or you may have missed one or two in the past. We always share the podcast episodes as well.
And like I was saying earlier, we're also looking to hopefully get some streaming on the go as and when we
Yep.
can. That's we're already near capacity with the pod, but as and when we can jump on for a stream and try out some games, we're looking to ideally stuff like the ones we were talking about, Naughty Gnomes and Room Battle, games of that ilk, because there's the two of us. That's probably the best kind of genre and gameplay style that'll work well
Yeah.
for streams. Obviously, we're open to other games, but because there's two of us, it's more fun if we're playing either competitive or cooperative, kind of couch competitive cooperative, because works better for a stream if it's all on the same screen,
I
doesn't
think
it?
so. Yeah.
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 And as always, people on the internet, you know what the crack on is. You like, follow, and subscribe if you're on the YouTube. If you're on Twitter or whatever, give us a follow. Send us a message if you're a dev. We're here to celebrate indie games.
Yep. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
See you then. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.